Astrology friends and family from around the world. This is Lada from Astrolada.com, and these are your July 2022 video horoscopes. To watch the extended version, where I also talk about world events and all the rest of the 12 signs are together in one video, check out my main channel, Ladaduncheva. Or to watch the short version, you can watch it at my channel, new channel, Astrolada, where there is one video for each of the 12 signs, which is 7-8 minutes long. And by the way, before we start, I want to tell you that this is the last time this year that I'm offering my courses, astrology courses made by me at a promotional price of 25%. So grab the deal if you're interested in learn astrology with me. Now let's begin. All right. Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, July 2022. For you, Virgos, let's see. The month there is a few big things that are happening, and they're all happening at the end of the month. So the beginning of the month has quite a few pleasant experiences to say. I think Venus is in your 10th house till July the 19th. So that's beautiful for your work, for your career. If you have any important career projects or important conversations with institutions or bosses, do it then, because they'll be benevolent for you till July the 19th. While Venus is in your career house, your social image will flow more better, more positive from others, your work and career overall. And then Venus enters your 11th house from July the 19th, which is great for socializing, for pleasant social exchanges, even for more gains, for becoming more popular in public, pleasant friendships, and so on. Then Mercury is very important. We have to look at Mercury. Mercury is in your 11th house from July the 6th to July the 20th. So, already friendships triggered for you, meeting with friends, meeting new people. 11th house is also business house. It can be very good to work in a team with people. It can be very good for transactions, for marketing, for advertisement and such matters, and for gainfulness. So to organize your social calendar as well, and for working using your organizational skills about long-term goals and wishes. There is no big disruptions or anything like that. And then Venus goes into the 11th house, making it even nicer. Where the big shifts are happening is, first of all, there is a full moon on July the 13th. Maybe this is something you can feel more. Full moon in your 5th house with Pluto. And that can indicate some romantic relationship reaching a next stage for some of you. For others, it can indicate some romantic relationship having to, reach, not being able to reach further on, because full moon is something coming to completion and or coming to the next stage. So for some of you, it can mean like, taking a relationship to the next step. For others, it can mean saying no, especially if there is something toxic in the relationship, in that romantic relationship, because Pluto is involved with that full moon. And Pluto makes us recognize where we're being abused, or where we're being, where there's toxic energy that isn't healthy. And this full moon is asking you, it's going to give you very strong feelings and ability to say no, because it's in Capricorn, the sign that has power to say no and to remove certain toxic energies connected to your relationships with your children, connected to your romantic relationship. And even there might be some, whether you're married or no, in a relationship, some kind of a romantic escalation there. On a most positive note, Pluto can indicate very sensual, steaming date with your partner, very intense, deep, kind of connection. On the low vibration of this, it can indicate some kind of a crisis that happens in your romantic relationships that needs certain boundaries and that needs elimination of certain more extreme behaviors and so on, and paying it attention to that. And 5th house is also creative projects. If you have your own business, it's also related to you because it's your own baby, so to speak. You can be seeing a project, creative project to to a completion, for example, or it's also having fun, the fifth house. It can mean putting attention for your Virgos, July the 13th, on such matters, having fun, and or completing creative project, to seeing the results of such. All right, and then the other important things, as I said, they're all happening towards the end of the month, where the first 3 weeks, I think they're pretty nice. But towards the end of the month, you're going to have Jupiter starting to go retrograde. On July 29th, there is retrograde. You can feel it from before that. There is a period of 10-15 days that you can feel this in your 8th house. So there can be a shift in regards to your mutual finances, whether you're married with your partner, or in your 8th house is connected resources that come to you from others, your clients, money, or whatever. You might start revisioning your rebudgeting your mutual finances. So there might be a change in the circumstances of certain investments you have, whether on stock market or in a pension or in a trust fund. There can be some changes there that you start to contemplate and to change. Or there can be some shifts happening with the finances of your partner and with the material circumstances of your partner, that you have to, maybe they can be slowing down, or they can be in something that they might be working on over the next 4 or 5 months, that can change your financial situation with your marriage partner, business partner, or finances that come to you from your clients, for example, something that you will be reworking there. On a more spiritual level, Jupiter going retrograde in your 8th house indicate really deep realizations that can happen over the next 4 months while Jupiter is retrograde, in regards to deep psychological realizations, because the 8th house is a very psychological house. It rules our let's say our internal power struggles. It rules our the things that block us toxically, and our traumas. And Jupiter is a very wisdom bringing planet, and when it retrogrades, it makes you very internal, gives internal power to realize on a deep level some psychological issue and some psychological trauma, to release it, to realize it. Almost you can do it with a psychologist, so it can happen naturally, almost like natural healing of some sort that happens on a very deep cellular level, on a microscopic level, that can transpire into physical healing, spontaneous healings, and so on. But something over the next 4 months, Jupiter will be almost reworking on a deep level in your psychology, reversing effects of trauma and helping you see trauma and let's say toxic behaviors of yours or others in a different light, from a higher perspective. And going internally will help you do that. And you will go internally and have some deep realizations which release you. 8th house is a moksha house of liberation, being freed from heavy emotional burdens and being freed from traumas and attachments. And Jupiter can make it much easier for you. While it's retrograde, it will work on those things, those attachments, realize them, release them, and be freer. There can be also deepening of intimacy with someone. The 8th house is kind of very sexual house. And the barriers, if there's certain barriers blocking you to feel intimacy with another person, Jupiter can help you work through on a psychological level over the next 4 months to rework them. There can be also some secret that is coming to the surface. That is, the 8th house is connected to secret, and that you have to rework in your some secret or some surprising or shocking information or development that comes. Unfortunately, 8th house does carry the possibility of some big reversal happening. It is the house of death and betrayals and sudden changes and shocks. But the good news is that even if such thing happens, Jupiter will bring something really good out of it. I don't know, inheritance, or releasing of trauma, or being liberated from some toxic influence. And Jupiter, the ultimate goal of Jupiter in your 9th house after it's retrograde will be that you'll be emotionally much stronger, deeper, and more powerful psychologically. And like a healthier psychology, healthy and lighter psychology. I remember when Jupiter went retrograde in my 8th house, it was fantastic time. I found out I was pregnant and so on. 8th house is pregnancies as well. So, and there was a lot of psychological releasing of the past as well. I wish you the best as well. And I was going through a divorce at the same time. 8th house rules divorces. And it was tumultuous psychologically, but very liberating eventually. All right. And then the other big thing that is happening, and also it can mean some financial resources from outside can come back to you. Maybe some support from another, maybe some loan you've been trying to get, or some mortgage for a while now. Jupiter going retrograde, it can come as a financial opportunity to you, or maybe money or resources from others or past clients can come back for you. And the eventual thing is that after Jupiter passes the retrograde period, is that you find yourself with a lot more financial support from coming outside, from from your business or from other people's resources. And binding forces with others can be very beneficial for you overall for the next few months. Okay, and then the other big huge event is that Uranus is joining with the North Node and Mars, Virgo, in your, in your 9th house. Yeah. And I think there is like a huge shift in your belief system. And this conjunction is happening for almost a whole month. The end, it's happening and it continues into August. A huge shift in your beliefs. And it can be very sudden, like a sudden realization of something, sudden download of higher perspective, belief system. Some of you might discover new religion. Some of you might discover astrology. Some of you might start studying something totally new, because all those 3 planets carry the energy of something new. And 9th house is higher knowledge, foreign travel, faraway places, higher perspective, studying something, pre-qualifying. Think about those topics. Imagine something very new, a new belief system, a new perspective, a new breakthrough, a new in your vision for the future. The 9th house is also future, a new, almost like a connection to higher powers. And it's very, Uranus with Rahu. Uranus is a very esoteric, intuitive planet. With Mars, some of you might have downloads, specifically downloads of some kind of 9th house is the house of God and the higher self, connecting with some higher wisdom of some sort, or discovering a suddenly new teacher, or having some even powerful spiritual experiences of some sort, or revelations that come to you from high above. For others, it can mean change of studies, or starting to study something new, or suddenly traveling to a foreign country. Be careful around the very end of July and the very start of August if traveling in foreign countries, because it's explosive energy though. There can be some shocks and surprises, but it is, it triggers that house of foreign countries, people from foreign places. Something new and excitable can come to you from people from different states, or not someone from a local environment, someone very new and different that kind of changes your perspective, your mind. But it can open an opportunity for you to travel to foreign place, or to connect it to relocations to faraway places, foreign documents, and so on. So fascinating stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Let's continue to the next sign.